Hi everybody, and welcome to week 1 of the Test and Measurements class. My name is Dr. Laura Freeman, and I'm really excited to be working with you this semester and looking forward to getting started. So during this brief video lecture, I'm going to basically provide an overview for you of the class and a little bit of an introduction to myself. You already have access to the syllabus there in Blackboard, and I hope that you've had the chance to read through it and purchase the required textbook. It's actually a really fun book and pretty light reading, which is nice. So I think that you'll enjoy it. I hope you do. I do want to draw your attention to a couple of specific details in the course syllabus. One is my contact information. You can find it there, and email is definitely the best way to get in touch with me. So you'll find my email address there in the syllabus. Please feel free to email me anytime with any kind of questions or comments, anything like that. I check my email every day, and I'm happy to get back to you as soon as I can. So don't be shy. Please don't let yourself go, for several days or weeks with questions unanswered. Make sure that you reach out and get in touch with me. So that's one thing. The other thing that I'd like to point out to you about the syllabus is my late policy. And I hate to be so much of a stickler, but I have experimented quite a bit with different policies and whatnot, and I find that it really works best for everybody, meaning both you and me, if my policy is that I just do not accept any late work whatsoever. I understand that that's very rigid, but like I said, I know it's a little bit rigid, but it does work. Just go ahead and arrange your schedules properly so that you can submit your work on time. You go ahead and do that, and you won't get behind, and there won't be any problems or issues, and I'll grade everything for you and get you feedback on the work that you're submitting. So you can take a look at that in the syllabus as well. And of course the syllabus has other information about the assignments and the schedule and everything. And we're going to start working through that schedule week by week starting right now. So the time, I'm sure, will go very quickly. But I'd like to spend a few moments introducing myself now, and then also kind of, introducing the course, providing a bit of an overview to what we'll do in the class. So as I had mentioned, my name is Dr. Laura Freeman, and I'm a clinical psychologist. That means that my doctoral degree focused on the diagnosis and treatment of mental illness. There's different types of mental health providers out there, but a clinical psychologist is one that focuses on the more severe mental illness. And it's both the diagnosis of the mental illness and also the treatment of the mental illness. And one of the reasons I love teaching this class, I actually volunteer and ask to teach it every time it becomes available, is because I've done quite a bit of testing, psychological testing, in my career. And I think it's really fun. I think it's like putting a puzzle together and kind of piece by piece trying to figure out what's causing a diagnosis and what do we do with that diagnosis? How do we offer treatment in a way that's going to be helpful to somebody? So I spent a lot of my time working on testing cases and spending a lot of hours working with people, administering tests to them, trying to interpret their results, and then put all of that information together into a big psychological report that would hopefully be helpful as they move on into the treatment phase. So in this class, you're not going to be doing any testing. That's something that, if you're interested in it, then you can pursue that training in more of a doctoral program. But right now, it's more of just kind of helping you understand the benefit of testing and the overall process for how we do it. So as I've already mentioned, the biggest benefit of testing is that it helps to clarify diagnoses. There's a huge variety of diagnostic questions that can come up where testing might be helpful. For example, let's say that there's a child who's really struggling in school and can't really figure out what the problem is. Their behavior is fine, their family life is very supportive, they have good hygiene, good nutrition, all that kind of stuff. They're paying attention in class. They have a good attitude, everything seems to be going well, but they're just not quite understanding the information. And when they sit down to do homework or take tests or whatever, there's a big struggle and they really don't understand what's happening or what they've learned. Well, there are lots of different options within the psychological testing realm that could help to clarify what's happening with that child. And it doesn't even have to be a child, it could be an adult. It could be an adult who actually made it through school, but later in their life is just continuing to struggle with those types of challenges and decides to pursue some type of psychological assessment. We can clarify what's happening. Perhaps there's a learning disability. Perhaps there's some type of cognitive impairment. Perhaps there's an attention problem. Perhaps there's a processing disorder. We don't know, but the testing can reveal what the problem is. And I find that extremely exciting because it offers a sense of hope. Once we know what the problem is, we can then become hopeful about helping with the problem. So that would be in the treatment phase, which happens later after the testing is completed. But I get really excited when I think about providing information to people that can give them a sense of hope and direction about where to go and how to feel better. Other examples about when we might use psychological assessment would be perhaps there's a person, excuse me, who just doesn't seem to get along very well with people. Perhaps it's an adult who is in and out of relationships constantly, dating and then breaking up, and then dating and then gets dumped, and in and out of jobs, has one job and then gets fired, gets another job, gets fired. Really cannot seem to maintain any kind of stability in their relationships. Psychological testing can provide some clarity about that. Bring some answers about what's happening in that person, in a more emotional way, and the core foundation of their personality, what's going on inside of them that's leading them to have these relationship challenges. We can do lots of testing to try to get some answers. And then again, I find that really exciting because when we can clarify a diagnosis, it offers the chance at hope, because then there's the hope that we can move forward in treating that person, helping them find some kind of solution to the problems that they're facing. So I really get excited about it. I look forward to teaching this class, as I've already mentioned. I'm excited about what you guys are going to think about it. And I think this class will give you a really good overview and just kind of exposure to what this little kind of sliver of clinical work is like. Some of you guys might be considering going into a career that involves mental health care. And this psychological testing is just one tiny little piece of mental health care, but it might be something that you want to pursue in your career, and that would be really, really interesting, fascinating. You also might take this class and decide, nope, that's not for me. And you know what? I think that's great too, because then you know that this would not be what you want to spend your time doing all day long. So with that, I think I'm going to go ahead and start wrapping up this video. And again, please feel free to email me anytime and reach out to me. For those of you who are local, I do have an office here in Riverside at Cal Baptist, and I'm more than happy to meet with you in person. If you ever wanted to schedule some kind of office hours appointment, we can do that. For those of you who are not local, or even if you're local and just busy like we all are, we can also schedule time to talk by video or phone. We can do that as well. So just reach out to me by email to get that process started, and then we'll go from there. So take care, everybody. Hope you have a wonderful week, and I'll see you back for week 2.